Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. Take a deep breath, you guys. Sending lots of love and healing out to you guys. This is a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read. Lots of really cool messages came up, so stay tuned. For those of you not familiar, this is a 7-deck read for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames. It is a general read, so if something doesn't resonate, please don't force it to fit. It also affects the feminine because it affects the masculine within the feminine too. Okay. If you should need anything from me, most of my information is below, or you can go to my website at twinflames3344.com. And thank you all so much for all of your likes and your shares and your subscribes and your comments and your spending your time with me during these sessions. I really appreciate that. And please do, again, like, share, and subscribe. If you like the content, please share with others. It really helps my channel. And of course, my CD is out there, Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames. If you'd like to check it out, it's only $1 for a song. And that's on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, and CD Baby. So, let's see. Today is Saturday, the 15th of August, 2020. The 15 is the devil energy, or the shadow side of things. And the day adds up to 27/9. 27 is the Ace of Wands. So it's the ace energy, but also the 9 at the same time. So 9 is all about endings and compassion and letting go of the old in order to make way for the new. And so we have the shadow side and the Ace of Wands. So there's new passion, new growth, new creativity here, but it's pulling up your shadow side. So how do we deal with that? And I was definitely feeling some frustration coming up that I haven't felt in a while, yet specifically yesterday and today. And the energies have been really dragging me down the past couple of days, just tired-wise. I'm not feeling a lot of like heart stress, anything like that, but just feeling drained. I've been sleeping, after several nights of not sleeping well, I slept really well the past couple nights. And so that's just the energy that's going on right now. The number 35 was significant coming up today as far as the times I was getting up. And then I noticed someone doing an astrology read about the new moon. And there's a 35-degree aspect there, so that may be significant for someone. And 35 is the 9 of Wands. It's the wounded warrior energy. Also, the 9:59 came up this morning as well as the 11th hour, just before 10 a.m. And that's the 59 of the 5 of Swords, right? The enemy, the virus, the war within, all of those angst or frustrating energies. And then I dealt the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, which is the main deck for my read, at 10:01. So here we have the exact reflection of the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. And then as I was putting the clarification cards out at 10:10, I noticed a 1 card and then an 8 card came up at the same time, and that's alerting us to the new moon on the 18th, which I've been hearing a lot of positive things about, the Leo new moon. And that, of course, is setting off this new time into the Virgo energies, which are very different from Leo. 12:10, I was getting the R of crystals, or the hour of crystals, and crystals will come up again. And then also BS coming up, which can be, BS. It also can reference bow sounds, which also can reference the music of the spheres. But the hour of the crystals, the bewitching hour, the 11th hour, the new moon hour, okay, the perfect reflection hour, all of those kind of things are coming up here. And also Peter Gabriel came up the other day, so I didn't reference anything to that, just that his name was coming up, so I went online to check it out. And of course, Peter Gabriel's from Genesis, so Genesis, in the beginning, right? So Sledgehammer came up, and In Your Eyes, and Salisbury Hill. And that was from telegraph.co.uk on August 8th, 2020. And then there was an article about Peter Gabriel, the Shambolic Genesis Reunion that saved Peter Gabriel from financial ruin. So it was an article about what had happened after he left the group and then started the WOMAD Festival, and how the group came back and actually helped him get out of financial issues that he had because of that. So now there's another article about him developing the 4th Street properties, and him saying that this time during COVID has now allowed him to pursue some of his dreams of redoing some of these 4th Street properties, restaurants and a banquet hall, I think. So that was coming up from BeloitDailyNews.com. So to make this time, use this time to make your dreams come true was the message there. So then at 10:40, the 4 of Pentacles, Scrooge was coming up. Is the 2 of Swords feminine energy? So someone holding on tight. I was getting something else that came up in the read too, but I'll have to wait till then because I can't remember what it was exactly. And then it came up, the two of flames came up, and the cards that sat on top of the 2 flames were coming up as one flame imprisoned and released, and the other flame divorced or spiritual. So it's the same energy, but from different sides of the same coin. And then the group is supporting the Empress, or they're together. The group is supporting the Empress energy here, but the Empress was in lack today because it was reversed, the Abundance card. At 10:44, the 10 Commandments came up from the 10 of Crystals. So there might be a very religious family at 10:44, and I guess, again, 44 is the 4 of Cups. The grounding, integrating, and mastering of love. It also could be boredom and apathy. And then for some reason, and then he kissed me from the Crystals came up, just in my head. And then I finished clarifying at 10:48. So 48 is the 8 of Cups, that walking away within. When you, instead of waiting to get to the end of the cycle, being in your knowing and walking away, because you know that there's something missing and you can't find it where you are. So at 10:48, I finished here. We had the major arcana of strength, higher self, justice, and abundance. Abundance is like the Empress. And then after the read, reflection came up. I always pull a few cards on either end of the read that I incorporate in the read as well. We had 2 wands, 4 swords, 1 pentacle, and no cups in this read. Lots of swords, so very much in their head or intellectualizing today. And the court cards are the King of Swords, the Page of Swords, and then after the read, the King of Wands, Knight of Cups, and Page of Cups also came up. So the code line and the message here, it was all about domestic harmony today. And that was definitely coming up regarding children and the innocence of the child and the comfort of home. And this is regarding your inner child as well. And the number 2 was the number that came up on the code line. The other numbers, the most significant one was 22, and then 2 on the code line. So 2s were big today. That one-on-one relationship, especially with yourself. And then 23 of the King of Wands came up, as well as 241. Which can be the 24 of the Queen of Wands and the Magician, or the 2 of the High Priestess and the 41 of the Ace of Cups, or just each individual number. 4 is the Emperor. We also had 7, the Chariot, 10, the Wheel of Fortune, 28, the 2 of Wands, and 37, the King of Cups came up, and 710, which is the 0 backing up to 71, which is the 3 of Pentacles, the co-creation card for me. And then in a lesser sense, the numbers 34, or the 8 of Wands came up, 57, the 3 of Swords, 78, the 10 of Pentacles, and then 810, which is 0 or Source backing up to 81, which for me is the end of karma. That comes up that way for me in the numerology book, The Divine Triangle. And all right, so this code line, the message around domestic harmony, led into a lot of stuff. And as soon as I wrote that down, I was getting the 3rd seat or the 3rd seed. And this also references back to the 3rd energy. The 2 of Flames was definitely in the code line today, or the twin flames. And first thing I was getting was EI, and instead of EIEIO, I was getting EIEIC. So earned income credit may come up, but I was also getting, instead of income credit, it had to do with the earned chakra credit, or the C, which is the C, to use your eyes, your 3rd eye vision. The C, which is the ocean of your deep, deep emotions, and the C of the Christ or unity consciousness. The I am Sophia, again, the Sophia 7, the saint. The path, like a street. And the key, to the higher realms, that higher flash of light or lightening, that shave, that you can shave it so thin because it's so sharp. Like light is much sharper than a knife, right? So you use light to cut things that have to be very, very thin. And then the twin flames comes up here. And as I wrote down twin flames, the first cut is the deepest was coming up, especially with that light being a very fine cut, right? It's very sharp. And the first cut is the deepest, is the first cut is the separation of the twins when they first parted. As lightning chooses its path, Source left the divine feminine energy of the chakra system. So leaving, it's a shock to the chakra system when Source left the divine feminine. So when the masculine left the divine feminine, it was a huge shock to the chakra system. And then old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-C-C-C. So old MacDonald's coming up, unity consciousness under the sea, the ocean. You see? The bridge collapsed. No longer the gateway or bridge, it's closed. The Atlantean bridge, which I didn't even realize, I wasn't even thinking of this at the time, right? Because the Lion's Gate is a gate over Atlantis, over Egypt. So it's just saying here, as my voice is closing up, the opportunity for the divine masculine to speak his truth from Atlantis. The first cut is the deepest. As lightning chooses its path, Source left of the chakra system, the feminine, and old MacDonald had a farm. There's another reference to this again, E-I-E-I-C-C-C. The unity consciousness, the 5D, or in other words, under the sea, the Atlantis sea. You see? The bridge that collapsed, that no longer is the gateway opened, it's closed. Highway Route 66 was coming up, which is the Queen of Pentacles. Old Big Mac Donald, or in other words, Donald Trump, had a farm under the sea. The Queen of Pentacles is referencing the Q of the crystal, equaling, and in I have an alphabet that I've made over the past few years of all of the downloads I've gotten and what they mean. And Q means human leap of dimension, so dimension hopping. So Q is coming up as the ability to leap from dimension to dimension, and then Pentacles is crystals in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, and the connection to the inner and the outer realms. The Queen of Pentacles, or the Queen of Crystals, of rock and crystalline, right? It's all about crystals. So then Chris Rock was coming up, and also the word crystalline. So first the talisman was coming up from Oxford Dictionaries. The dictionary has to do with typically a ring or stone inscribed that brings good luck or magic powers. And then Chris Rock came up. So of course comedy was coming up. And then the word crystalline was coming up as Christ all in. And then the I and E also means water, I, as in the I am presence, the jaguar, which lays in wait, hiding until it's ready, and then the Old English inn, which is that place that feels like home. So the Christ all ein, Christ is all the water, the nourishment, the emotions, the I am presence, the one in waiting and hiding in wait, the Old English inn, the place where you can be comfortable when the world gets to be too much. Christ all in, or Christ all ein. So Chris Rock was coming up as the talisman. And then Chris Rock was coming up. The first thing that came up was how not to get beat by the police. And that was from April. It wasn't from a long time ago. It was from April 1st, 2015. And one of the quotes from his comedy act on that was, "Get a white friend to ride with you." And on what happened on April 1st, 2015 was the third time in 7 weeks that he had been stopped by the police. He had been stopped February 13th and February 27th. And then Isaiah Washington from Grey's Anatomy also chimed in on his tweet there, saying that I sold my $90,000 Mercedes G500 and bought 3 Priuses because I got tired of being pulled over by the police. And Sting. So the music groups were coming up. Roxanne Anne Gordon Matthew Thomas, and Queen of Rock, or in other words, the group. So the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Crystals, the Queen of Rock, Chris Rock, and then Queen is the Queen of Rock, right? So the group Queen came up. And then funny, light, humor, silly, and orange, like Trump's orange hair and his orange face. The humor in it, clowning around. It's not so serious or Pleiadian, but comedian. Be the clown. The Jerry Lewis and Seinfeld. The Tom and Jerry. The Donald Duck versus Daffy Duck. The cat and mouse. The cool cat and scared little mouse. The mouse that pulls the thorn out of the lion's paw. The lion's king is the child, the small one with a huge heart. Minnie Mouse and Bugs, the spirit's connecting with me. Minnie Mouse and Bugs discuss the two sitting ducks, their honeys, and Pooh Bear, comparing their bull and bear marks, their marks and scare tactics at 11:35. And here's that 35 again. 11 is justice and 35 is the wounded warrior. So obviously we're talking about people running for elections now and the comedy in it. And to make it a comedy show, to lighten things up, to don't allow it all to be so serious. And this is the message from Spirit. To have fun with it. We're in Leo. It's all about the child. It was really funny as this stuff was coming through. So Mickey Mouse and Dolan's, the Monk Keys, Davy, Peter, Mickey, and Michael. Davy and Goliath, Peter Pan, Mickey Mouse, and Michael Jackson in Wonderland. The Monkeys and Beatles, Oh My. INE, an Old English Inn, a place of comfort, safety, and security, a place like home. John, or George, John, Paul, and Ringo. Curious George, Little John, Paul Bunyan's, and Rings, Oh My, Ringo. George Michael, Monkeys and Beatles, put together, brings out the monkeys' curiosity and the Beatles' fears. So, doe, a deer, a female here. Ray Charles, a drop of golden sun. Me, my name, God calls himself, far from masculine to run. So a quilt is made instead, toggling up an easier way to thread, that will bring us back to home, 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 to doe, a deer, mama, Gaia, home. A warm English inn, a home away from home. It was really cool when this came up. Okay, so the EI comes up again, and that's two feminine energies in the chakra system, because the chakra system is the feminine energy. I've always spoken of that as, your connection to the etheric realm, so it's the feminine energy. But it's also the child within you. It's the child of the I am presence, the capital I and the lowercase I. Capital I is the I am presence, the lowercase I is the chakra system. And then C-I-S came up in capitals. C is the Christ consciousness, I is the I am presence, and S is the Sophia. The I am presence between the Christ and the Sophia, the Christos Sophia. The Christ I am Sophia. The I am presence is the key of the Sophia, the higher energy, the key, the flash of lightning that's so sharp you can't imagine it, its power. And then the K of the key comes up as the energy of the lightning and the flash, and the twin flames toggling up and left into the feminine energy, where the monk is its keeper, all right, the monk key. The monk is the keeper of the key, the energy, the feminine energy. To the key to the inner child, the chakra system, the little I am, the comfort of home. E-I-E-I-O, O is the human, cracked open to the sea of the Christ in unity consciousness. The I am presence, gifts of the moment, and the Sophia key, where the monk is its keeper. Curious George, the child who wants to go out and play and not listen, but longs to come home to the inn, not the prison. I can't speak now. I don't know if you saw that episode of Curious George, but it still stays with me to this day. The day that Curious George got arrested. I don't know if he got arrested and put in prison, or if they just put him in there to, hold him up until his man came back. But I just remember him being in the prison and just crying in the prison, and it just broke my heart. But Curious George, the child who wants to go out and play and not listen, but longs to come home to the inn, not the prison. You know, the child who's just playing. He didn't mean anything. The chakra system of the child of the I Am Presence must be taught how to get home without getting lost. I'm going to say that again. This was at 12:12. The chakra system is the child of the I Am Presence, and it must be taught how to get home without getting lost. This is our journey. The third seat and seed. And as I wrote that down, a FedEx truck went by going north and squeaked as it passed only my house like a mouse. The third energy, and then K3 and Y12 came up along with the W of 1060 news. Of the 3 times 12 times 1060 equals 38160. The Queen of Cups, the Tower, and the source energy backing her up in the E-Tower. That's literally Rapunzel in the E-Tower. So it's the mouse squeaked as it passed by my house, or in other words, the mouse is the one who takes the thorn out of the lion's paw. And here, the feminine's coming up as the lion and the masculine as the mouse. The third energy, the K3, K is energy, and 3 was coming up here as the third energy. Y came up in my vision yesterday morning when I woke up of Y12, year 12, the day of the end of karma in 2012, 12/21/12. And then the W came up of the wounded warrior, but it's also the W of 2 cups. And each cup is a holy grail. And then 1060 News, which is a news station in Philadelphia, came up. And then the numbers, 3 times 12 times 1060 is that 38160. So if that references something else to you guys, please let me know. But it's literally 38 of the Queen of Cups, the Tower, and then source backing it up. Then KY comes up, of course, as a silly, funny thing. And then Empress and the Hangman with KY. And then 3 times 12 equals 36, which is the Atlas energy of the 10 of Wands, the weight of the world upon your shoulders. After the Wounded Warrior, the 35, is destined to find peace with the MM, the Mary Magdalene, the WW with the MM, the reflections of the masculine and the feminine, finding peace with KYW News 1060 equals 38160, or in other words, the Queen of Cups in the E Tower with source backing her up, and the Queen of Cups Tower in the E. And then the Kentucky Derby came up because KY is also Kentucky. So Kentucky Derby News came up, as well as Lube Station, as my son came in and told me he has to go to the gas station. And then Vivo X50 came up. That's a phone that was announced on June 1st, 2020. So Vivo X50. And 50, of course, is emotional fulfillment, the 10 of Cups. So that sounds like a positive plug for them. So the third energy and the 12th year of 1060 Genesis. Strong's Hebrew came up with 119 occurrences, which is one more than 118, which is that famous Hebrew number. So Strong's Hebrew came up as 119, and also 1060 coming up in Genesis, which is funny because we just brought up the group Genesis. 1060 literally means, in the Dictionary of Bible Themes, it means God and the greatness of. His firstborn was the word that came up all throughout the Bible. So all of the firstborns came up listed. Sidon, Heth, Uz, Buz, I don't know how to pronounce half these names, but Nebaioth, Esau, Simon, and Reuben, and so on, and Tamar. And then Judah's firstborn was evil. It's stated in 38:7, Genesis 38, the Queen of Cups, and 7, the Chariot. Judas's firstborn was evil. And then Er comes up, ER, which is a name, but it's coming up as to Er is human. So then it said, Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might. And then it went into Exodus and some other books as well, all about the firstborn, of men and women, of animals, and of those of relation. So, and in the tradition, the firstborn is always the eldest son of the father. The K-12, 3-Y 3-Y was coming up as a green supplier. And in math, it comes up as solutions to implicit differences. So literally, solutions to how do people with differences get along. K12 and 3Y. And then W as the 2 cups, the Wounded Warrior and the Mary Magdalene together with 1060 News, which is 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, and the 60 of the 6 of Swords, which is finding peace. How do we find peace in destiny? So at 1246, which is the Hangman and then the Children in the Garden, the 6 of Cups, U10 and U60 came up. And those are submarines and U-boats from 1911, World War I, and then World War II again. And then U-60, German submarine in 1939, so again, World War II. So I start the read at 1250. 12 is the Hangman, 50 is that 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment. And we start with the Strength card here. So the big card here is the Strength card with the clarifiers on top. And then below it were the 4 of Swords upright, the 8 of Wands reversed, the 8 of Cups upright, and the 5 of Wands reversed. So, and of course we come up with the Strength card first, which means strong, and we were just referencing Strong's Hebrew reference to 1060. So after rest, meditation, prayer, and not telling, walking away without a fight, being strong through the night I was just getting, but being strong through the ring of fire, through the circus, the amazing feats, after injury and left behind, sick or with crazy kids, drained without energy to end pain, in a painful ending, or a pain in the butt X, or Leo or ego, or massaging the X to save the children, or on behalf of, no affection, no lover, no sunshine, and in need of fun, offering big love to the King of Wands reversed, or to himself and by walking away. Knowing and keeping to themselves, seeing synchronicities as guidance, but unhappy or dissatisfied with self, or lonely, or dissatisfied with 99 bottles of beer on the wall, a divorce, or Taurus reversed, or a break in contract, or spiritual war. And then the Battle of Normandy came up with the French, but with the Pope. So I'm, okay, well, I don't get this. Why is the Pope being referenced? Because I don't find any reference to the Pope regarding the Battle of Normandy. So the Battle of Normandy was 6/6/1944. So here again, 66 comes up, the Queen of Pentacles, the Q of crystals, of the rock and the crystalline. And of course, 44 comes up again here with the 19 of the Sun. And that lasted through July of 44. But also on that page, the 100 Years' War came up between England and France of 1337 to 1453. And then in 1066, again the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, where Pope Alexander came up regarding, this was on the english-heritage.org.uk. So this came up about the Battle of Hastings and William the Conqueror. So it talks about the Normans, but they are governed by a French state here. So the Normans became the rulers of England, led to battle by a cross banner that the Pope had given them. So blessed and sent to William the Conqueror by Pope Alexander II. William had gotten it by persuading the Pope that King Harold, Godwin's son, notice that last name, Godwin's son, Godwin's son. So William the Conqueror got it by persuading the Pope, Alexander II, that King Harold in England, Godwin's son, was an oath breaker, and by promising to modernize the old-fashioned Anglo-Saxon church if he won. So here he is making a deal with the Pope. Like, I'll make my religion closer to yours if you give me the banner, okay? So the Battle of Hastings was October 14th, 1066. The Normans, who were related to the French, told the Pope that they would go their way if they won. So it turned into an invasion, or turned the invasion into a holy war. The Normans not seeing themselves as aggressors, but crusaders, guaranteed to go to heaven if they didn't win, because they got blessed by the Pope. And then the Battle of, is it called Civitate? I'm not sure. but it's June 18th. There's a lot about June stuff here. June 18th, 1053 in Italy, so this is just before the 1066, where it was organized. The Pope actually organized this battle. Pope Leo the Ninth, and here we are in Leo season, Pope Leo the Ninth organized this battle against the Normans. All right, so here was Italy with Pope Leo against the Normans, and now Pope Alexander is siding with the Normans against England. And then Pope Francis said, the world's at war, but not a war of religion. This is cbsnews.com. Travels to Poland on his first visit to Central and Eastern Europe. This was July 27, 2016. Now in 1212, and I just told you the time was 1212, that's funny, England was a tribute paying vassal of the Holy See, which had to do with the Vatican City, vassal of the Holy See, and then it said .6. So here again, the 6 is coming up, but I think that was just the reference. It does not exist to support its citizens, but is the base for the Roman Catholic Church only. And then it said 0.44 square. So here the 6 and 44 came up again. I think there were references below, but I'm not positive about that. But how crazy is that? Because we started out with the Battle of Normandy, which was 6/6/1944, and we end up here with the Holy See, or the Vatican, of 6 and 44, again, in the year 1212. England paying tribute to the Vatican. So the whole point of all this stuff was coming up, a French tie to the Pope, and the Holy War, and the invasion of Normandy. There's a spiritual tie there. The reason why they came to save them in Normandy was there's a Holy War tie between Italy, England, and France here. From 1066 and 1053, where the Pope was against the England or the French, or against the French, and then sided in 66 against the English. And also English was coming up, or England dates back to 44,000 years ago. So 44 was coming up again. So there's some kind of spiritual war between the three countries that was being played out at the Battle of Normandy, which was very interesting. Anyway, the ones that were coming up here, the 100 Years' War between England and France, and then in 1066 involving the Pope and England, and then French because of the Normans. So there's something between this triangle of England, Italy, and England. England, Italy, and France. So spiritual wars as the Wizard of Oz falls, and that's referencing the Vatican and France and England. The Pope versus the Church of England, and France between them. One bows to the man, one bows to no man. Workplace out to be seen as the Page of Cups innocent, the child, the message of love, and the High Priestess of the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or legacy. The mother and child, with hook in the train, the ice pick, the pick of the litter, as meek or intuitive, inherit the earth. Those who speak from the heart will reap abundance, grounding their antennae on solid ground, as Bugs Bunny stands on their ears to distract the crowds. Or in other words, the clowns come in at 135, which is the magician and the wounded warrior. Bring in the clowns. 136, the magician, and then the 10 of wands, the Atlas energy. Let go of control issues, and beneath that was engagement. The Viking crown and the noble young statesman. So that brought up, I looked up Viking, and what they were called back then were nobles, which just came to my mind. I didn't write down nobles because they were called nobles. I just got that message. So the Viking crown and the noble young statesman. Well, in the Viking age, the nobles were, of course, the elite, or earls, or jarts. The middle class were carls, or farmers or peasants, and the slaves were called thralls. And the medieval freemen were the few who could move amongst the classes. Then the Freemasons came up as well. So Denmark, Norway, and Iceland came up there. And then The Magician upright and the Hierophant reversed, the Freemasons versus the Catholic Church, defenseless to allowing hugs, making pleasantries for the children, longing for the past of seeing the mother at the party gate, directing the father on what to do next, posting sweet tweets and treats and scissors, magnets, and coins on the gateposts to seed in their favor, or hiring a feng shui person to do up the place, or a private investigator, or an event or wedding planner. Brick columns with stone caps, to keep the lizards and old torches out, and lovebirds in, and dessert. And the desert was coming up, so that references Egypt and Atlantis again. The secret on tippy toes. So as some things are secrets, they're walking around on tippy toes, reaching, perhaps, a surprise portrait of them in the old days. No more excuses, defenseless as the gates go up. October 17th, 2016 is, I happened to be in the south of France in 2017, and on October 17, 2016, just prior to that, the Catholics apologized formally to the Cathars for having burnt them all to death way back then. No more false niceties, a way to manipulate. False niceties are a way to manipulate. Hangry for revenge, spiritual warfare, taking narcissism down, arrogance, and placing oneself above others, or in other words, making one person better than the other. Cowing down out of fear of power or retribution that the other doesn't like who you are or what your belief is. And then teaching and learning comes up, 57. And beneath that was adventure, 55, the truth of the Excalibur. That the truth is out, with victory and sunshine, all exposed, justice and unconditional love. Inspired to be a fool for love, to be silly, bunny and frog, Kermit on a lily pad and riding his bike. The Page of Wands in orange grove of life. Snowbirds, getting to be a child again, and no one cares. You can play chess in your underwear if you want to, and do a hula hoop upside down in a jester's suit, or Chinese torture test. Chains only get tighter the more you struggle. Throwing the baton up in the air, if we catch it, nobody knows and nobody cares. Checkmate, to see if they peed in their pants. Oh well, change of underwear to diapers instead. Play in the yard with lots of flowers where he can pick you one any old time and offer love with it. Terracotta tile or Italian, why not mix it up? Red and brown are great together, or even orange. Green socks, red socks, what does it matter? If it feels good, the cat's staring, well, have a staring contest at 208, which is the High Priestess and the Strength card. 209 is then the Hermit. No hiding your light or your truth under a bushel. Justice and love prevail. Innocence of children and childlike behavior through Lionsgate, awaiting punishment on the other side, the serious side. Too much fun has dire consequences, like driving 150 miles an hour. Disciplined by the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, giving them directions. Teaching and learning. Lessons can be heartbreaking if you don't listen to the beating of your heart. Listen to others, but heed your own inner knowing. Remember, the adventure can sometimes end up a 10-car pileup if you don't take others into consideration. In the recent past is the higher self upright, receiving third energy, new passion, creativity, and growth, from removing Excalibur from the stone heart, the brave heart, the bleeding heart of the sovereign unafraid to weep for the loss of their mother and generational curses, or crazy old lady free to fall as they choose. The sovereign implementing a plan to be loyal to self, to split from and remove self from that which does not serve your innocent inner child with natural intuition. Being loyal by cutting cords with parents and children, allowing others freedoms to learn to trust themselves. The foundation here is the Two of Swords upright, knowing, unstable, moving, visiting, divorcing, and connecting with light, with awakening, with higher consciousness, awakening the mind and pacifying the ego, limiting the pet, the ego pet, and being strong as the greatness of God, the holding on loosely, the grounding and saving, being moderate in deliberation, holding back what you've learned, what you know. Strong knowing, with Leo upright or reversed and Pisces upright, the center energy being the Seven of Wands reversed, defenseless to the fires and drama, allowing the defeat, laying down, not rising, knowing that within withholding and magnetizing, joy will return. It's like like the child of the Leo, playing dead or playing possum. You know that it will all be over soon. The release of inequity, of the break from the commitment to self. When overwhelmed by attack or being ganged up on, like a bear, stop, drop into fetal position, or roll if on fire, and then come together with others like you to release anxieties and fears, inequities, and those not sharing. The Hierophant reversed, the Taurus reversed, unfair relationship between the Empress reversed and the Hierophant reversed, or in other words, two bulls taken down by the bear market, where the group supported the Empress reversed, talking about healing opportunities, challenged by the Two of Wands reversed, with no options left, and not telling, holding back feelings under the radar or feeling a failure, the Queen of Pentacles upright and the King of Cups upright, indirectly connected to the Hierophant reversed, Libra, Virgo, and Child, and state of emergency or warpath, stuckness, brokenness between the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups reversed, or cancer that's keeping them apart at 241, which is the High Priestess and the Ace of Cups. Synchronicities and options and heaven in their eyes, the Page of Pentacles and or opportunity with the Queen of Swords talking about healing, releasing energy, stealing vampires. The Page of Pentacles student of impatience, which is frustration that may come up. The fallen angel, losing their patience or no longer patient at all. With happily ever after and heaven in their eyes, the injustice of manifesting big, a DNA thing. You either have it or you don't. The Page of Wands reversed is frustrated, having temper tantrums, or just plain uninspired. Bleeding out, liver, heart, and left shoulder pain, referred sovereign, the Page of Wands reversed, massaging the sovereign or child's ego to make them happy with lots of surprises. The Page of Pentacles is released, no longer patient in the emotional cycle complete or ending of a family cycle, with Libra reversed or injustice of the Magician with the Page of Wands reversed, and Sovereign, who could be kids, with a lot of pain between them, coming together for sudden events, explosions, eruptions, or epiphanies. Blowing their top, their crown, their cover, or their mind, or just blown out of the water experience. Now the injustice, offering love to the past, and looking back, or foolishly going back, or living in the past. The Page of Swords upright, satisfied in getting their wish, with lots of options and or kids. The happy family, or ending a family or emotional cycle, or foolish behavior, or falling into the injustice trap. Grieving with their back turned, coming clean about new passion and growth, with the devil's wave of the fallen angel, cutting it off and being strong about it. The Page of Pentacles, student or opportunity with new passion for the devil or Capricorn upright and Sagittarius reversed, and the messenger of truth of the Knight of Swords, could be the Knight in shining armor, telling Libra reversed, or the grieving one, to clean up their act and withholding sex until they do. Unhappy or dissatisfied Leo, ego, or family strong-arming tactics to get their way, Sagittarius reversed and Libra reversed, surrounded the fantasy plan. The Magician avoiding, walking away, while pretending to engage or dance. The King of Swords reversed with the Devil's Wave, or Capricorn person, with stone caps, and the Magician, the Virgo or feminine waving to their DNA strand. And that can involve children, like using their child to wave hello, saying or waving goodbye to their old self, of casual flirtations and sexual frustration. The magician defenseless in surrender and bleeding out, withholding time withholding time, money, and energy, and or new life, or playing ball or hardball. Hard-boiled egg always wants to come up when I say that. Does someone always have a hard-boiled egg when they play hardball? Because that comes up every time I try to say that. The King of Pentacles extending themselves, humbling self, being moderate, not overdoing it, or withholding from kids, the Knight of Pentacles and the Sovereign, regarding a surprise party or other surprise event. So holding back on what they'd normally expect because it's been overkill and they're learning their lesson. Soon for the masculines, the Ten of Pentacles upright, the family, the business, the community, or the legacy, and the Queen of Cups reversed and the King of Wands reversed, stuck on the warpath or state of emergency, fight or flight, paralyzed, or failed under the radar, received negative attention or scolding by the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, with no options but to step it up. A message, news, or Page of Swords taking a swing with happy memories, kids, best friends, siblings, twin, or depressed and losing hope at 309, the Empress and the Hermit. Or bad news about restrictions comes out, or bad news about a car, or being stuck, or a Cancer person, or about someone with cancer. Or the Queen of Cups reversed, Cancer, with the King of Wands reversed, face together the family, the business, or community for bad news, secret of the King of Swords reversed, or salty olive oil, apricot and kelp algae, or the High Priestess, intuitive, or kids, religion. The kids are the religion of the Aquarius reversed, or Pisces. Or dealing with bad accident between the Queen of Pentacles upright and the King of Cups upright, and the Queen of Cups reversed and the King of Wands reversed, and the family wants to pay under the radar, or under the table, or without insurance. They may be without option but to message a child, a friend, sibling, or twin needing to heal higher self with the King of Swords reversed. He sees himself as the King of Swords reversed today, destined dark night to fall from grace, or take down the Emperor reversed and break patterns, remove the mask. Jealous, insincere, moody, or rejected, the Queen of Wands without peace, and the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated of the injustice of deception and having walked away into that good night, or frustrated, Libra upright, Scorpio upright, Aries reversed, or Libra reversed, or Cancer reversed. One with frustrated Cancer reversed and walking away, the other with death, end, dark night, transition, and breakthroughs, with jealous Queen of Wands in need of peace in the middle. The King of Swords reversed, not in his truth here, or just in negative self-talk, or being verbally abusive or impatient, or giving someone the silent treatment. Pay attention to the red flags comes up for him, which is about your guidance and guidance system. Separation comes up, and then in a separate group, wedding. This situation involves marriage, trust, and true love. This is a romance of a lifetime. Or one child with the Queen of Wands, and one child is with a Libra, Scorpio, Aries, or Cancer. Destined frustration of death, dark night, injustice, the Emperor reversed, deception, or Cancer and walking away from dropping the ball, tripping up, the daily grind, or removing their mask and breaking patterns. Around the masculine, or how he's seen, is the lack consciousness, the Empress reversed, working to align with insanity, dementia, ascension symptoms, or coming out of hiding. The Knight of Wands rushing back passionately away from grounding and integrating, boredom and apathy, refusing to engage in fighting. The King of Swords reversed and the Empress reversed, living separate lives, going their own way. Perhaps a father is injured or passed and stuck with the mother reversed, or dementia, and challenged by the Three of Swords reversed, healing without lightning strike or without a miracle out of the blue. The world's reversed due to the virus, the enemy, the truth without love. It's hard to heal if you keep cutting the wound open again and again, or defending yourself to the world, not letting anyone in to help. Us and them, depressed victims and perpetrator at 333. Domestic harmony, but even more so here for the masculine, is physical activity, self-love, and the Hermit reversed, no longer staring at the wick, no longer going nuts or coming out about all business relationship, at 3:35, the Empress and the Wounded Warrior. Or 2, in all business relationship, always watching TV, online, or news. The Page of Swords with light message about the injustices, the withholding, the surrendering, the bleeding out, the sovereign coming together for epiphanies or sudden intuitions. Or the King of Swords reversed. 3:39, the Empress and the Knight of Cups. The Page of Swords with a message out of the mouths of babes. The King of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles upright. And the King of Pentacles, or the King of Pentacles extending themselves to the King of Wands reversed, the Hermit reversed, the Knight of Cups reversed, and the Page of Cups upright. Spreading the word, offering time, money, and effort, a proposal to the King of Wands shaman reversed, Scorpio, Virgo, and perhaps kids, Knight of Cups reversed and Page of Cups upright. They could be fire sign and or a Pisces. Resting, not telling, and walking away from Leo or ego or being strong, knowing and keeping to yourself, the King of Swords reversed and Empress reversed or abundance reversed, and higher self secret or intuition, defenseless to the drama and challenged by no options. No options, no path, or no twin. And the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, healing, forgiving the injustice of the Page of Swords child or message to the King of Wands reversed and the Hermit reversed, or not reflecting, hiding with the Knight of Cups reversed and the Page of Cups upright. Strong Leo ego and higher self of the twins, knowing and keeping to self to stay sane, defenseless to energies, attacks, or just no excuse of the injustice and challenged by no options or their own indecisiveness. The King of Swords reversed and Ten of Pentacles upright, family, business, community, or legacy, and the Empress reversed or lack of abundance, healing, forgiving, and the Page of Swords speaking a lot or out of the mouths of babes or just a message. The King of Wands reversed is sick, tired, or angry, or losing his mind, or with Hermit reversed, or crazy Virgo, or a parent with dementia, and the Knight of Cups reversed and Page of Cups upright. One jealous and moody, and one with a heart open wide. No defense, no options, no justice, no truth, no abundance. Strong higher self with a message of light, his inner child. The Emperor, a vault with many trying to open, burdened Atlas with weight of the world as the Queen of Swords offers love through announcements, or in other words, their wake-up call. So that came up. So I'm going to pull an energy deck card for you guys and see what comes up now. I didn't show you the read, but sorry about that. Here is the basic read if you want to check it out. And here's the full read that's in front of you now. Okay. And so from the energy deck, for everybody watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned. And fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light, and so it is. All right, so what is our takeaway message from this read? What was the purpose for this read? That came right out, the 50. I think we started around a 50. 50 is that Ten of Cups, emotional fulfillment and being strong in Lion's Gate, coming out of it with the gate closed. The Angel of Strength. It was all about the child, the inner child of the Leo, and also the divine feminine strength of toggling up. So meditating a lot. This is also coming up, the indecision. We just brought that up about the divine masculine. And that's number 8. Again, that's the strength of the lion. Okay, so the number 8, paralleling to the lion here. Needing to make a choice of path or transcend that. So we have the 50 and the 8. And then the bottom of the deck is the yin and yang of it. The 22, the fool with an open heart, taking a leap of faith, allowing them to be foolish if they want to be. And this is below the yin and yang is the walking away. Walking away to bring balance to the situation. After realizing the adjacent possibilities. And the healer of the ages is behind that. All right, and a broken heart was behind that. So we have the healer of the ages and then the broken heart. And that came up last time, I think, okay? So it came up like that. Okay, but the bottom of the deck is the yin-yang, so coming back to balance here as we get through Lionsgate, because there's a lot of energy that came in through that period from the full moon, and we're going into the new moon on the 18th here coming up, okay? So being strong, using your feminine energy and your childlike beast to be strong when you come to the Y in the road. And it's also saying, if it's not time yet, you know, be strong, use your inner child to play. If you're stuck at the Y in the road and you can't go anywhere, you know, what do kids do? Well, they find something to play with. And that was the message there. It's all about the child and the feminine strength, the feminine of the lion, and allowing the masculine to be his inner child, the mouse. It's kind of like switching places. You know, the masculine being his and it depends on whether you're being your adult or your child as well. So it's not just the masculine and feminine, but are you being your adult masculine or your child masculine, and vice versa for the feminines. So there's all sorts of energies you can use to get through these times. But here it's calling for play with Leo. And I was getting the message to take advantage of the time that you have off before we come into Virgo, which is more disciplinarian. It's more about practical things of the day-to-day. So take advantage of this summertime that you still have, the time outside in the sun, getting not only the sun outside and being exposed to that, but being exposed to the central sun or meditation. Both are very important at this time. So make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nation, get your nation, and your nature, and rise and be loved, guys. Bye.